we're all fans of Brady. We know what he did in this league, so he gets guys' attention, and everybody's in awe when you see him. I mean, he's the GOAT. Everybody knows that. But then when you see the way he practices, his demeanor, and shoot, if the six-time Super Bowl champ is focused and locked in, the last guy on the roster, he better be locked in also.
All right. And next up is going to be Greg Allman.
Hey, Coach, your depth at outside linebacker, I think what says the most about the confidence you guys have is that you guys didn't feel a need to go out in free agency and bring in the veterans. So the young guys that you have behind your established players, the guys like Kaz, Quentin, and then the rookies like Divinity and Cam Gill, I just want to see what you like about them and maybe who stood out the most so far.
Well, so far we got some big holes to fill as far as losing Carl through free agency, but Nelson is the guy. I've been putting a lot of pressure on him, and we were very good last year in that room, particulars, definitely against the run, and we're going to need Nelson to pick up those shoes, fill those shoes that Carl left, and I'm looking forward to him. Hopefully he can stay healthy, and but I'm expecting big things from him. And for that number 4 spot, I mean, got about 3 or 4 dogs in there with one bone, so it sucks this year, no preseason games, but we're going to pick things up and see who can separate from the pack.
Okay, next up is going to be Jenna Lane.
Hey, Coach. Hope you're doing well. I just want to ask you, what's it like going up against Tom Brady now in practice, and how is that guy compared to the guy that used to go up against at Michigan?
He's still the same old time talking trash. After every big pass, he's celebrating, hooping and hollering. He sees me in the hallways talking about they won that day. He's just like the rest of the coaching staff. They don't count sacks, those things. So, but he's a competitive guy. From day one when I met him when I was a freshman over 20 years ago, and that's why he's one of the best or the best. But he looks great out there.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, next up is Luke Easterling.
Coach, you have Shaq Barrett obviously coming off a ridiculous season with 19 and a half sacks, far exceeded his expectations when he was signed in free agency. What is the key for a guy like that to come back and to continue to challenge himself and even exceed what he set for himself last year? And how does having a guy like JPP on the other side, a veteran leader, a guy who's produced sacks at a high level year in and year out throughout his career, help in getting a guy to kind of make sure he doesn't just have that one great season?
I mean, we all know money is a big motivator, and we know he's playing on that tag, so there's a lot of money out there, and that position comes with sacks. We know, each sack is probably $1 million, so if he go get 20 sacks, he probably get $20 million, but money is a big motivator. We know about that, but he's a competitive junkie also. He likes to win. He still got to prove this league. Nobody knew who he was last year, and he led the league in sacks. So, but shoot, if I was him, money would be probably the top motivator for me as far as being in shape and playing well. And, of course, just being a competitive guy and having 90 in there who got a Super Bowl ring and doing it the right way. Tom Brady coming in there, so he got to buy in team first, and which he did last year. You just watch him. He plays against the run well. And when it's time to go get the quarterback, he did a good job. But definitely this year he got to be in shape, be focused, locked in, and repeat what he did last year.
And the early season, when he had such a huge jump over those first few weeks, he had, 9 sacks after 3 or 4 weeks or something like that. And we talked to him about how he was expecting to have all the protection slid to him and having the chips and the backs and that sort of thing. And then again, throughout the whole rest of the season, it really didn't work. He continued to produce. Does that give you even more confidence that really teams have done everything they can to kind of slow him down, and it's proven that he's going to still get his?
Well, Coach Bowles do a great job. He understands how teams going to want to try to block us and block those guys. He does a great job putting in schemes in there so those guys can't double us all the time, and you got to worry about other pieces on our defense. So Bowles will work his magic and put everybody in position to make plays. And we need other guys to step up, and so they just can't focus on one guy. But he's a dynamic rusher. He knows how to rush. He understands the angles, and it all ties in with our back end. If everybody's getting the quarterback to hold the ball, everybody up front should be able to get sacks.
Okay, next up's going to be John Ledyard.
Coach, curious about Jason Pierre-Paul. Last year, I know he had some success rushing inside as well as outside. Is that part of the plan again for this season, get him some inside looks? And if so, why is that an important part of what you're doing defensively?
Well, we want to move everybody around. He is one of those guys, I call him Gumby. He has the experience of rushing inside, outside. He has a great feel for that. And, our mindset, the more you can do, everybody up front, if you can handle it, we're going to ask you, we're going to put more on your plate. But he's a guy you can move all around.
Is it the length that makes that such an issue? Think about somebody like Anthony Nelson and his length. Is that part of the reason why moving those guys inside can be so advantageous, their length compared to the guards and centers?
Yes, because, you want to get your hands up. And, if the center clamps down on you, 2-on-1, you can get your hands up. Quarterback can't see downfield, so that always helps. But you got to be tough enough. You got to be able to mix it up with the big uglies. If you can do that, we'll move you around.
Okay, next up is Steve Isbitz.
Coach, JPP mentioned that he's still learning the linebacker position. And what would you say the areas where you think he's still adjusting?
Just the dropping, just the coverage, going to play a curl flat, a hook curl, and, our defense, we pass a lot of crosses off, so he got to learn how to do those things, be an athlete. And we know athletically he can do it, but he probably had a half a year of doing it. And, that's the most part, probably coaching I got to do with him is just teach him about coverage and underneath drops. And, I always joke with him, like, one day you got to learn this stuff because you get your little league team down in Miami and you got to teach these guys these techniques. And but he loves it. Those guys that's normally, his whole career put his hand down. So them guys get off when we ask them to do some DB-oriented drops.
And Devin White, what kind of challenge was it for him as a rookie in coverage, and how much do you think he can improve in that area?
Just by, just on the field, more reps, more snaps. He's in there next to Levante, who done seen it all, but just experience. If he, he's a humble guy, so he's listening. Caldwell, Devin White, them guys teaching him just the trades, the ins and out. I think him and Shady was matched up a couple of times today. Those would be some great matchups, playing some type of running back like that with that skill set. And seeing Grunt, big guy out there, one of the best tight ends, so he's gonna get some good reps in practice. He should be ready week 1.
And next up's Jenna Lane.
Coach, back to your time at Michigan, David Terrell said that he felt like Tom needed that experience to mold him into who he is today. What was it about the culture at Michigan, the competitive environment, that allowed Brady to become the type of player he is? Was it just the fact that he was like the 6th string quarterback when he first got there? What was it?
I don't know. I think not to throw my old coaches under the bus back at Michigan, but some people might not have been doing a good job recruiting. But, he was behind Brian Greasy, another NFL guy. A lot of guys came in. I remember he was competing with Drew Henson, who came in my class. But, some coaches make mistakes from time to time. But he was always a leader. That kept him always hungry. I know Tom always mentioned that he's always going to have that edge because of that experience. But it all worked out. But I think a couple people might have dropped the ball. Just my humblest opinion.
All right, next up is Josh Allen.
Hey, Coach Foote, how you doing?
How you doing?
Good. So Coach Arian said that he plans on getting Devin White outside more, some more outside looks, and that this offseason Devin's working on counter moves and pass rushing moves and technique and stuff like that. How excited are you to get your hands on him and kind of show him, obviously because you're a great linebacker yourself. You played with some great linebackers, Joey Porter and those guys with the Steelers. How excited are you to get your hands on him? And then as a whole, this linebacking group, Where do you like rank them among groups that you played with, and where do you see them, progressing?
Well, they don't compare with the groups I played with, of course. They're not even close to us, but but they're young. We're gonna move guys around everywhere. I ain't telling you our package. Guys gonna be all over the place. But when we get a guy like Devin White with that type of talent and wants to come in and work every day, it makes our job easier and fun. We got a lot of coaches on the field that can also help and get them right. But it's just fun when you got that talent and when guys buy in, it makes the job easier. Todd Bowles is gonna come up with schemes and what makes it fun to play in this defense, he's gonna put people in position to make plays. And that's why guys like this defense. When I played in it my last year and everybody plays under, we're gonna be aggressive and we're gonna take things away, but we also gonna make you have us a little flexibility to make plays. We're gonna coach robots and we're gonna, give you the freedom to get after.
Where do you see Devin White's ceiling as a player in this league? Do you think he can be one of the best up there, one of the Levante David types, Luke Kuechly, Bobby Wagner?
Absolutely. He it's not as easy. I know some of them guys hit the streets. Like I remember Luke Kuechly, as soon as he got off the bus, that's really not the norm. But with that guy with that type of talent, that's what he should be shooting for. And just through experience, he's gonna keep growing, and everybody knows the sky's the limit.
All right, we have time for one more. We're going to go with Leo Haggerty.
Coach, seeing a lot of his concepts with Fox now.
Sorry, Leo, your mic's not working out. We can't hear you. Okay, well, that's all we have time for today. Coach, appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you, guys.